This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Halas Hall. I'm just working on a technical thing here for the huddle, so you guys can see us on Roku and Fire Stick. Let me know if you got Dan when it goes back to gray from pink.
Well,
there we go. Nope. So, yeah, you gotta love it.
You did on Northeast streaming.
Yeah, we're good on it. NESP, but not our own network for whatever reason. All right, I'll keep trying it. Anywho, welcome to another episode. We had the first episode of Hard Knocks aired last night. I think I'm the only one of the three who's actually watched it complete.
We work
at 8 p.m. Eastern. Or no, it's on 9 Eastern.
Yeah.
And it's on HBO Max, so you can watch it anytime on demand.
Thank you, sir.
Is
that the Fire Stick program I told you about?
No, on that, it's probably been up all day. Yeah, I haven't even looked at that.
Gotcha. Don't forget you got that, man.
Yeah, that's right. So, anywho, we won't talk as much about it, but Dan, I'm trying. It's not, I don't know what's up. Anywho, it aired last night. It focused a lot on your favorite quarterback, Woody.
Fuck him.
The coolest part for me, there were a couple little cool snippets. One was when they first were talking about Caleb, right? It did this whole little thing like, he could be, it had some of the media guys, some of the snippets from what people were saying, and then they did it. Also, you heard this low come in the background, right? He could be the best thing to happen to the city. He has the opportunity to be the best thing to happen to the city since Michael Jordan. And all of a sudden you hear it. The Bulls intro music from the Jordan era. And they even got the guy who did the intro at the old Chicago Stadium to go, and now the starting lineup for your Chicago Bears. Like, oh my God, they did it. And they did. And they introduced Caleb Williams, and then they just went to the practice. So they did a lot of little things. That was a cool little homage to the Bulls, right? And that little tie-in, that was kind of something cool they did. It was, they spent an inordinate amount of time on Coach Eberflus's haircut and beard. I didn't get that. But they did spend a good amount of time on that. Most of the show, though, obviously focused on Caleb. They barely mentioned Rome, barely mentioned any of the other acquisitions. They covered a lot of ground. They covered Simone Biles in the Olympics with her husband, of course, our second string safety going to the Olympics. They covered that. And that was pretty cool how they did that. The cool thing was the quarterback room. So they're asking Caleb, like, do you know how to slide? And he's like, baseball's like, well, I never played baseball. But I mean, like, well, how do you explain it? It's like, well, I didn't play baseball, so I couldn't give you the technical terms. And all of a sudden you hear Coach Eberflus say, have you ever done a slide drill? And even the quarterback's coach like, well, I've only done it once. Here's what they did. No lie. They broke out the slip and slide. And the quarterbacks went and played on the slip and slide for some time to work on slides.
Oh, wow.
But here's the funny thing. Fast forward to the back end of the show when they're covering the Hall of Fame game. And what did Rippon do? He did a slide. And he pops over from the slide and goes, yep, the slip and slide drill sure worked.
Yeah, when you won't play.
Yeah, he looked good though, didn't he, in
Yeah,
the
he
Hall of
did.
Fame game?
Well, I know I wasn't. I didn't want to cut you off. Last week I wasn't on. Just a few things about the game. A little shaky start, as we all saw. Then Rippon came in, and wow, he played like he was. And then Ken, I was a little wrong. I said Bajan will play till the third quarter. He only played,
One series.
Rippon played like he was a backup preseason day or the Hall of Fame game. And I was like, wow. And then Roshan and then Herbert playing. They had Roshan starting and Herbert backing him up.
So did you, not to cut you off, Woody, but I want to ask you a question though, when you mentioned that, when you saw Roshan take those first snaps, did you make the assumption that he was running back 2 on the depth chart?
Absolutely.
That's the same thing. Now, did you think Khalil Herbert was not even going to play in that game when you saw that?
No, I knew somebody was gonna. When I seen Roshan, I was like, "Well, I know Swift isn't playing today."
Right.
But I was like, "Really? They're gonna play Herbert?" And then he came on. So I was like, "Damn." So I don't know if they're like messing with our heads or they just want to try out different schemes. We'll never know. We'll see Saturday if they're gonna mix it up a little bit. But I'm thinking Bajan's probably gonna play more on Saturday. And maybe Herbert as well.
When I saw Roshan, I thought, okay, maybe Herbert's not going to play, and they're not going to really let anyone know who RB1 is on the depth chart. They're going to put some mystery behind it. And Dan and I were talking about this last week. When I saw Herbert run, right, I'm thinking, this is just not fair. What was he, 8.8 yards a carry against the third stringers?
Yep.
I was like, this just isn't fair. This guy is RB1 on a lot of teams in this league, to include the one he's on right now. Last year, he was RB1 and a good RB1. And you're putting him up in third. This is not fair.
Well, you know what I say, right? Even though it's third string, fourth string, 18th string, these are all professional athletes, even on the practice squad.
That is true.
So they're on the team for a reason. They got in the NFL for a reason, practice squad or whatever. So I'm sick and tired of people say, "Oh, you played against their third string, they're garbage points." I don't want to fucking hear that.
So here's the other question, maybe with Herbert. Because Herbert was featured as the third running back, right? Starters didn't play, the number 2s started, and then he came on.
Bye.
Do you think that maybe that feeds into they may try to trade him before the season starts?
Yep. Either
where and for what?
I don't know about the season start, but I think if Herbert is number 3, that he'll be traded sometime. I don't know right in the beginning of the season, but if Herbert is number 3, I'm saying he's gone in Chicago. But I think, like I said before, I think Roshan's going to have a breakout year this year.
So I mean, if he's 3 though, and the Bears are in playoff contention, I don't know if you deal him.
No, you don't. Oh. Yeah, but I want to bring this up too. It's like, everybody knows I'm a big Devils fan, and Devils are going for the playoff push, and they traded Toffoli to Winnipeg. So, and then after they traded him, the team went to shit. I don't want to see the Bears do that. Get rid of these players. Keep everything the same. Don't fix it if it's not broken.
Well, and then if you trade him, like as what luck would have it, you trade him and then Roshan gets hurt.
Well, you know how I feel about fucking Herbert. I love him because he came from the best college in the nation. But I really liked Herbert when he came out, and I think I don't know. I don't like Swift. I don't like fucking Swift. He's injury prone. He's behind the Sheagles offensive line. I don't give a shit. Please, I don't give a shit. I don't like Swift. That's why I think Roshan's going to have a breakout year.
Yeah, I hate to see Herbert go too.
Yeah, he's such a good player.
Well, and like, if you're going to trade him, I think we're in the playoff hunt. by week 8 or 7, whatever the trade deadline's like, week 8, 9, somewhere in there, we're probably still in a hunt, at that point, the way our schedule is. So we're thinking it, and we're probably feeling good about ourselves if things are going well, which we're making an assumption they will. I don't see him making a trading away a piece like that while you're in a hunt. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it now, because you can then not cut a back from camp that you can actually take with you, right? Instead of trading him now, okay, maybe I have a guy in my practice squad I can bring up, maybe I don't. But if you do it now, I would say, like, okay, you're doing it for a piece. So let's say Judon wants out of New England, right? And okay, so look at, you guys are having a problem signing him. I can absorb the cap hit. I can come to a deal, an accord with him. We'll give you Herbert for Judon straight up. I don't know. That would never happen. There'd be other pieces involved, so I'm not going to suggest that he's worth Judon straight up. But like, that would be part of a trade where then, okay, you would deal Khalil Herbert, and now maybe you give a 3rd round pick. Because Herbert makes so you're not giving up a 2nd or a 1st round pick, maybe, right? So you're saying, look, I'm going to give you a guy who can be your RB1. Yeah, you got Gibson from Washington, and he's a good, solid running back, but Herbert's better, right? Better numbers, better career. He's young. Now you can have a nice tandem with him, with those two back there, and you can get rid of your Judon problem and build your offense with your rookie quarterback. And by the way, this guy knows about rookie quarterbacks. He just played with Fields for 3 years, so he can help you in that aspect too. And then we get the edge rusher we need.
If Caleb works out like you guys think he is, and we get Judon, we're not only in the playoffs, we're deep in the playoffs.
I mean, but I mean, does that make sense though? And maybe that kind of scenario where we might try to make it
Herbert and a 3rd.
Well, I'm spitballing that, but I mean, I'm just talking about the idea, the concept of trading Herbert for an edge rusher during camp.
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, that's a off the wall trade.
That one is, yeah. Yeah, it is.
But what we've seen the off the wall trades before, so we'll see what happens.
And we just signed DJ Moore to an extension.
Yep.
When he has 2 years left of his contract. I mean, and that was really cool. How they did that? They're at practice, and Poles says, "Hey, very quietly, you ask DJ to grab his agent so he can talk, but don't let him. Don't let anyone else know he's coming up here." Okay. Next thing you see DJ walk in practice gear, right? Practice jersey, shorts with his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. It says sit down at the table. He just signs a contract and goes back to practice.
Nice. There's a stat that I heard on NFL Network that's interesting. Is that the start of the season they're talking about, all the spreads of all the games and stuff like that. Did any of you guys see that?
I have not.
NFL Network says that Bears will only be underdogs for 5 games. They didn't say which 5 games, but interesting.
I'm thinking it'd be both Packers games.
It has to be that Texans game week 2 as well. Yep.
Maybe one of the Lions games. Maybe
I would think Thanksgiving, because this year is the 7th year. So you know how they do in Thanksgiving every 7 years. They win. Or the 8th year.
Well, we didn't play them 3 out of 4 years. We did beat them.
And then the 1 year, Swift dropped the winning fucking touchdown in the end zone.
Yep.
Welcome to Chicago, buddy. Stupid prick. Yeah, I can't. Oh, my God.
Better not do that shit in Chicago.
Yeah, so I don't. Well, we'll see. Like I said, they play the games. Who knows? Bears will go 17-0. Who the fuck knows?
Why not?
Or we can go 0-17. Everybody. Right. It's not likely, But, who thought the Lions would go 4-0 in the preseason and then go 0-16 in the regular season? Nobody.
This is true.
But I'm interested to see Chia Pet on Saturday. See how he does. Hopefully he doesn't, favor Rome.
You got to figure he's only going to see one series.
Right.
I don't see him getting a ton of game time.
And then I think Bajan will come in and play till like mid-third quarter or halftime.
Yeah. Oh, did we get Dan back? Yeah, we got Dan back. I mean, I'm mitigating my expectations for what we're going to see, because I just don't see him committing that much time in the preseason to any of the starters, rookie or not. It just doesn't make sense to do, and we wouldn't do it. I mean, I get he's a rookie, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to want to risk injury and all the other,
Yeah, just be like Jenkins, get hurt during practice. Stupid. I mean, that offensive line, I guarantee that's the way it fucked us up the other season too, is the fluctuating of the offensive lines, and that you can't do that. You can't. Cody Whitehair played every position on that offensive line because of all the injuries.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Hopefully Ryan Bates works out at center. I'm interested in seeing him. The center position was my fault going in and unsureness. So hopefully Ryan Bates works out and hopefully our safety can tackle better than Eddie Jackson.
Well, you're really setting the bar high, Woody.
Absolutely. Jonathan Owens, I mean, who knows? His girl won the all-around gold. He might be a little bit, I can't say it on live television, but he might be, I don't know. I can't really say it. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. The game, we'll have a game on Mike the Bear Fan this weekend. I just, our fans just get overhyped.
Homers do.
Yeah, there's a lot of homers.
Absolutely. A lot of homers, man.
And so that's why when it comes to this stuff, I'm like, well, it's Homer Central out there these days.
And I'm interested in seeing what'd you think of we haven't Waldron's playbook for the first preseason game.
So from the morning show, I said, this is what I said, and these guys got all bitchy and pissy about it. I said it felt better. It felt different. It felt just overall better. Like it was, I know it's vanilla, but it just felt like it was better.
I like vanilla better than chocolate.
Well, but you know what I mean, though? It was like, it just felt like it was a bet. Like, I don't know. It just had a better feel to it than what we saw last year altogether. You know what I mean? It flowed. It looked better than a regular offense did last year. Oh, but it's a preseason and the defenses. I'm like, I get all that. But compared to the preseason last year, it felt better.
But hey, did the Packers fan brag about they're going to brag about their first preseason game?
Oh, you know they are. You know they are.
Oh, yeah. So you can't be contradictive like that, you fucking fudge Packer fans.
Well, wait to see what the Lions say after tomorrow night, because I think the Lions' first game is tomorrow night.
Yeah, against the Giants. Yep.
Yeah, well.
We'll see if there's another scuffle.
We'll see how many fines come out of this one.
Wow. I wouldn't picture St. Brown throwing a punch.
No, me either. You have to, you watch the kid on receivers.
Yep.
Like, this is a good kid.
Yep.
And now he's throwing haymakers? What the hell? What does not compute here? It was just kind of like, are you kidding me? I'm a little surprised. But at the same time, it's like, these guys are like, oh, well, you can't tell me about your offense. But it just felt better. That's all I was trying to say. Like, I wasn't trying to quantify that it's a better offense. I'm just saying it felt better. Like, as a Bears fan watching the game, it just had a different feel to it this year in this preseason game than it did under Bucknuts' system last year. They ran the ball. They threw the ball. Yeah, I get plain Jane offense, plain Jane defense, but it had just a nice flow to it that didn't feel like overly contrived.
See, it didn't even feel to me. It didn't even feel like a preseason game. It felt like a high school game. That stadium, I know it's a Hall of Fame game and stuff.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a full like NFL game. It's just the crowd. You don't like an NFL stadium. Obviously, it's like what 3/4 full. That stadium doesn't have a full seating arrangement around the outside. It didn't seem like it, but like I said, they looked a little shaky in the beginning, their defense, and then they came on. I mean, Pettis had a nice drop, stupid ass, and a fumble.
I guess now technically, because it was considered a game, the Bears are now tied for the most Hall of Fame games in NFL history.
Yep, 6-1.
No, it's 8 now. That was the 8th game.
Oh, because they said they were 5-1 going into that Hall of Fame game.
No, they were 6-1.
Yeah, they're 6-1 right now. Yeah.
Well, no, because that was their 8th one. Well, Dan's looking it up, but
yeah, I thought they were 5-1. Now they should be 6-1.
I think it was 5-1 before last week's game.
So yeah, just follow me in September. I'm gonna have a show called Woody's Right.
And how long is that show going to be? About 2 seconds?
No. It's gonna be all season long. Plus the hockey one I'm gonna do in October.
It's a fantasy.
Yeah, it's fancy.
Your wife is awesome. I'm just going to put that out
I
there.
know.
Jody, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Woody's always right. A fantasy show.
Fantasy show. No, she meant fantasy football. I'm always right.
Oh. And Jody will open the show and go, look, a football.
Yeah. Look at the colors. The colors.
Is it going to be white with stitches on it?
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, they know the best, though. When you play them like pick'ems during the week, you get a girl that play pick'ems, I guarantee she'll win. All they do, the pretty color, the Vikings, the pretty purple, we'll circle them. And they always win because we think about it too much.
I'm just thinking this game Saturday, we'll see no more than 2 series for the starters. That would be my intuition. That would be my gut. Maybe 2 series. Yeah, I don't see much else happening. I mean, Bagent will get a whole quarter. Ripken will get, and that rookie who didn't get to play all but 4 snaps will get his look. What about the rookie receiver there, Johnson, Colin Johnson?
Well, he was a giant before, but
was he a giant? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
He looked good.
He's the tallest receiver they say in the NFL.
He looked good, and he made some nice catches. I mean, he's probably wide receiver 5 on the depth chart right now. And I think we'll probably carry 6 into the season.
See, if he keeps scoring, I'd take him over Scott and put Scott on special teams.
Well, that could be, but Scott's getting first team reps, so he's 4 right now.
That's fucking.
So here's a question, though. Who do you take as your 6th wide receiver? If you only take 6 and you're taking Johnson, you're taking Scott.
So it's either Pettis or Jones.
Well, there's 12 receivers at camp. So could maybe be a possibility where Pettis and Jones don't make the team?
Could be. See how these rookies play out.
I mean, Pettis already muffed the kick.
Yep.
Jones didn't show anything spectacular when he returned. Yeah, but it was very obvious that those two are auditioning for the kick return job.
So my other question, what do you think about this kickoff shit?
There was one aspect to it of the new rules for kickoffs that I do like, right off the top. And that is when the ball has to be held, it's no longer held by a member of the coverage team. You get the 13th man whose only job it is to go out there, hold the ball, and then after the ball's kicked, grab the tee and run off the field.
He has to run off the field, yep.
That's it. Now, it's funny, though, because the guy for the Texans who did it, held it, then he was waving to everyone as he's walking on the field, like, dude, you forgot the tee. Our Aussie.
He was just waving to the crowd. This is my only playing time of the whole season. Hello.
Yeah. Our wonderful Aussie kicker, he held it, grabbed the tee, ran off the field, didn't wave, didn't nothing, goes to the side of the bench, and everyone's all, oh, yeah, you finally got in a game, but I mean, I like that aspect of the rule. Now, as far as the kickoff themselves, nothing made it past the 30.
Nope.
One touchback.
It was in the XFL. Or in the UFL.
Yeah, there's only one touchback.
Yep.
So that was fine. And that ball went to the 30. But you know what, though? I don't care that the returns haven't gotten bigger. Yeah, there you go.
Billy, we don't want you to huff and puff off the field, bud.
Yeah, Billy, I don't want you to have a coronary, and then we have to go, down to the corners and identify you.
If he does do that, have your defense sign out there, and when you're running off with the tee in your back pocket, just have the defense waving, and we'll wave back to you.
But to me, and Billy, maybe you were at the game, so actually, now that we know Billy's in the chat, it felt like the game moved along faster with the new kickoff than with the old one. And I'll say this too, kudos to both head coaches for not taking the penalties on the procedural penalties with the kickoffs, because they both declined them. Right. A guy moved a half second early, stuff like that. Right. But it felt like to me like the game moved faster in terms of the kickoff time. It just, I don't know, just felt faster. It sped the game up a little.
I could probably say those guys still got reamed out, even though the kickoff rules new. They practice that every day to stay still.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it in terms of that, though. I don't know, Dan, what did you think of it?
I don't know.
The kickoff thing, used to with the XFL and UFL, and I didn't care for it. I don't care for the new rule.
Yeah, it's going to be something new to get used to. I can't wait to see the first challenge, the Bears challenge or whoever we're playing, a roughing the passer call. I want to see. I'm interested in seeing that review. I'm glad they made that rule. Justin Fields got a hit a lot last year that should have been roughing the passer.
Yeah, but they never called stuff on Justin. We talked about this morning. It's like if it's Mahomes, he'll get the call, but if it's Fields, no call given.
Or Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, or
your boy Derek Carr.
Mr. Ref, he hit me. He looked at me funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that kickoff rule is going to be as exciting as they say it is, but to me, it just feels like the game moved faster because of it. You know what I mean? Because they kick the ball, it goes to the end zone, everyone runs past, high fives, shake each other, whatever. But this way, you're going to get a return every time. There's going to be action. So even though maybe in reality the time is no different, it's just that the fact that there's action versus inaction makes it better.
What was the?
You know what I mean?
What's the green area that the 20-yard box?
The landing zone or whatever they call it, like the landing zone or something like that. Yeah.
What is that supposed to?
So the ball has to hit in the landing zone, or there's penalization that happens. And the idea is, if the ball hits in the landing zone, it has to be returned no matter what. So that's the other thing. I read the rule is if the ball hits the 5-yard line and goes out the touch line, the side, you pinned them.
Yep.
But if it hits in the landing zone, then goes to the end zone, they're at the 20. If it just goes in the end zone, they're at the 30. If the ball doesn't even make it to the landing zone, I think they're at the 35. So no more squib kicks. Onside kicks can only happen in the fourth quarter if you're losing, and you have to tell the other you have to inform the referee and the other team that you're doing it. So onside kicks are pretty much dead now. But it just, but I think that because now you're probably gonna get a return on every kick now, right? I think it's just gonna feel like the game is gonna feel faster, less downtime. You know, I mean, I think that's more or less what it's gonna mean, and maybe you will get more longer returns. You know, as teams figure out how to scheme it and do that. If you got a really dynamic guy on returns, you basically you just got to break through one level. It's a big run play.
I think it's going to do is that these kickers are going to hit it toward the sidelines just to hit in that landing zone. But then the teams are going to start having two guys back there, but you can't have that.
They already have two guys back there.
Oh, you mean two guys back to? I didn't see it.
Yeah, they had two guys. Both teams had two guys back to receive. Now, in the Bears' case, the same guy caught the ball every time.
Oh, okay.
But they had two guys back to receive because you have to, so they don't try to pin you deep. But to me, it felt like the game moved faster because you had the return versus just a touchback where nothing happened. The ball was just kicked. And now look at, because there's, if you think about when there was a touchback back in the day, no time came off the clock. Well, now time's always going to come off the clock because there's always going to be a return. So it looked funky, but I'm not mad at it. And, you know what thing we didn't see with the new rules? I didn't see one flag for hip drop tackle. And I didn't see anything in the game that would suggest that rule even existed.
Probably working on that too. Better tackling skills.
So far, and the other rule that was used is the Texans did a challenge. They won the challenge, and then they got 2 more challenges awarded to them. So they would have had 3. So that rule got used. So that was good. So yeah, I mean, right now with the new rules, like I think they got we were talking about this morning. We had a good show this morning, Ken about the Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers. Like they got some of these roughing. They got to be more consistent on roughing the passer. JB gave us a stat. Patrick Mahomes last year threw 51 interceptions. Did you know that?
Total?
No, those are just the ones that got called back for penalties.
Oh shit!
And negated. That's an average of 3 a game he threw that got called back and negated for a penalty. And so we started a discussion on these penalties. And like last year, like with Justin, get his head ripped off when he give himself up in the slide, and they find some excuse why it was justifiable. But if you look at Patrick Mahomes' bunny, 15 yards, or Max Crosby gets a sack, instead of being a loss for 10 yards, it's a 15-yard penalty on Max Crosby because he put his body weight on the quarterback. And you watch the replay, Max catches himself with his arms, holds himself up in a push-up position. You can see the light between his body and the quarterback.
Yeah, so, that's the other rule. That's the other rule that I don't agree on too. Like you have a full force defensive lineman or somebody coming in for the sack, it's pretty hard to not put your body weight down on him. Very hard.
I mean, do we make that call when they smother a receiver or a running back gets dogpiled with 10 guys on them?
Yep.
So there are some rules I'd like to see fixed, but the kickoff I'm cool with so far. The hip drop seems to be a nothing burger, and I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they play with stuff because the referees are still trying to figure out this kickoff too and where to stand to effectively call it. It's going to be hard because like you can't move until the receiver touches the ball, so they're going to have to like constantly video review these returns. Constantly. So yeah, I mean, but there were some good things from that game for 2.5 quarters of it. The rookie defensive end, did you guys see him? The guy we took from was it Western Kentucky?
Oh
What
yeah,
was his name again?
What is his name?
Aaron.
He was the reason for that strip sack. He created the pressure. I was like, ooh, I still don't think he's the starter. He's not the solution, but he's definitely a good rotational piece as he grows. So, Woody, you're frozen on my end. Is he frozen on your end, Dan?
Yeah, I'm frozen. Let me go and come back in.
All right. I thought he was looking a little funny. I just didn't want to say anything before, but I'm like, well, you know. So I mean, yeah, he was a pleasant surprise. He was a pleasant surprise. Hard Knocks was nice. They didn't give away much. You didn't see Caleb throw as much. You probably seen more Caleb video on Facebook floating around than you saw on Hard Knocks last week. I'll wait for Woody to get back for this next part of it that I almost forgot to mention. There were some good surprises in Hard Knocks. Here's Woody back. Okay. So Woody's back. Let me bring him back in.
Probably frozen again.
No, you're not frozen. You're good. So there was not one good surprise that yesterday. So Nick Saban was at minicamp.
Yep.
Or was it camp? And he was talking to Flus about how you bring along your young rookie quarterback. And he broke it down and said, look, expectation is what will kill a quarterback. That's it. They have this guy hyped up so much, the expectation is so huge, it's almost impossible to live up to the hype. And that's what will hurt his progression. And this, so they were sat in his office wargaming it. And I thought that was really cool. You know, that because you don't hear about stuff like that when, like, you know, old college coaches go to NFL camps. But Nick Saban was at Bears camp because Flus played for him back in the day and was giving advice on how to deal with Caleb as a rookie quarterback. And I thought that was pretty cool.
You know, I wanted to say this too when I was watching the game. Obviously, Komet Everett didn't play,
Right.
but Bates and Sweeney, man. I mean, wow. You know,
would you? I mean, the weaponry we have on this team. This is the deepest Bears roster you've ever seen weapon wise?
Yeah, absolutely. This beats out Marshall and Jeffrey's team, hands down.
Yeah, because even with Marshall, Jeffrey, Forte, after that, you were like, all right, then who? This team, three really good running backs, 4 or 5 really good receivers, one elite top 5, top 10 tight end, and 2 maybe top 20 tight ends. I don't know. Well, I don't know if Sweeney isn't there, but we'll just call them good tight ends. How's that? Very serviceable.
Where'd your pussy go? I guess we're back live on Huddle Sports, people.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. So I mean,
40 minutes.
Yeah, it only took a little bit of time. And that may have just been a StreamYard thing. Who knows? Everything else worked fine. But there, it came back. Woody, you missed it. Came over his shoulder and then dipped off screen. Yeah,
Quick.
Very quick. So I mean, offensively, I like the amount of talent. I'm still concerned with the offensive line because the second, third string offensive line didn't actually. They didn't look terrible, but they didn't look great either. You know what I mean?
No.
They were okay. They were good on the run, like they've always been. They opened up holes, but on pass protect, Rippon still had to move a couple times, forced out of the pocket, and I don't like to see that. But he made. Oh, there you go, Woody. Look up
Oh, Shaboo Tutu Poo Poo.
our special guest. But yeah, I'm worried about the offensive line.
Yeah, like we were coming in, that's, and DBs we're hoping, Stevenson, he dials down on his extracurricular activity, better tackling from the safety, even though Eddie, I'm useless Jackson is gone. So I'm interested in seeing Gordon because he came on strong at the second half of the year, and even Brisker because he's from Penn State. So I'm interested I'm ready for the season to start. This preseason sucks, but
Tyreek is hard, man, because that dude hits like Sean Taylor. How do you it's hard to dial back how hard you hit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like the kid though. And you know what's great about Tyreek Stevenson? There are people out there in the talking head space that get paid for this, unlike us, who are comparing other corners and safeties now to Tyreek Stevenson. Oh, he's a Tyreek Stevenson type of player. Like, the kid's only been in a year and you're already making a comparison. Like, so people will kind of get an idea that this kid's good. Like, that's actually kind of cool.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, what'd you guys think about JJ being disrespected by the NFL 100?
Yeah. And even Sweat, I'm thinking he could have been higher too. I mean there's not, like Brock Purdy's in the 20s. I'm like, come the fuck on.
But JJ's, I think he nailed it. He's like, Aaron Rodgers played for 5 downs, and he's number 96. He's the top rated. Think about it. Jalen Johnson is the top rated at his position by PFF last year. Rated number 1 at his position. And he doesn't get on the top 100, but a guy who played 5 snaps and has 0 stats for the year is number 96 for last year.
Well, come on, Ken. He ran out pretty good with the flag. That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
like I said, and you know what's strange though, is that this top 100 is not from the fans, not from the owners, it's from the players.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Brock Purdy top 20. If it wasn't for Debo and Christian McCaffrey, you'd be shit, Mr. Irrelevant.
I mean, it's just amazing. Like, you're telling me, like, the receivers he was up against, who he stopped dead in their tracks, didn't say, "Oh, this guy it's hard to play against," and he gets votes. I mean, come on. I mean, that was a joke. I mean, number 1 guy in the league, and he doesn't get the top 100. Okay.
What do they say? Tyreek Hill's number 1?
Yeah.
Cheetah. I like
Patrick Mahomes was number 4.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Cheetah would have broke the record if he didn't get hurt at the end, though. He was on track. He was going to break that record.
Yep.
That
team, that like Miami defense or Miami team offense wise, with Waddle, him, Jesus, and now they have Beckham. Now they have Beckham's on the pup list now, but
when Beckham gets on the roster and starts playing, you still got to respect him because he can do
absolutely, especially one-handed catches.
Oh yeah, he makes a living off that. I mean, they're going to be a fun team to watch. The Bears are going to be a fun team to watch. Our entire division is going to be fun to watch, except Minnesota. I feel sorry for Minnesota right now.
Yeah, their defense. We said, their defense is hands down. It's faltering now.
I mean,
players. One, unfortunately, because of death, and one from
injury,
ACL tear.
I believe it was ACL. Yeah, injury.
Yep.
Out for the year. I mean, that makes it a lot harder for them.
But they still have a potential defensive rookie of the year, Dallas Turner. We'll see.
They do, and so I think they're going to be a feast or famine. They're either going to create pressure or get just torched.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be no in between with that team.
If you get to that, if you get to the level 2, Minnesota's defense is over. Yeah. Over.
That's the thing. If they're not getting consistent pressure on the quarterback, they're going to get picked apart because of their secondary. But they've got a good front 4. Linebacking core is decent. They're going to have to live off getting pressure. They're going to have to be selling out for pressure.
Well, you know who's laughing now, though, right? Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you know what, though? Like look at the Vikings will bring all kinds of weird exotic blitzes anyway. So I don't think much changes in their scheme. It's just that they're going to be blitzing even more than they were before.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to. What's going to be interesting, Packer fans, of course, think they're infallible and their team is perfect. But Jordan Love, highest paid quarterback after 1 year of starting, and all our wide receiving core is the best in the league. Okay, you got 5 no-names. I mean, I get it. I respect that they did this whole receiver by committee thing, and it worked last year, right? I mean, let's be honest. Receiver by committee for Green Bay last year, it worked. That was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are now hip to you.
Yeah, are you baking there?
And all some of these guys might have had the seasons of their lives in this receiver by committee situation. So I think Green Bay, John Dorn likes to call the Lions fool's gold Lions. I think Green Bay might be some fool's gold Green Bay on some level too, or has the potential to be. Like we already know the Bears have the potential of being good or terrible because, you're resting on a rookie quarterback. I get that. But Green Bay, dude, they had no choice but to pay Love the money they paid him. They had no choice. They had no choice to pay him a lot of money. They had a choice to make him the highest paid or not.
I still don't agree with that.
To their credit, though, the way they structured a deal, it is somewhat team-friendly. So it mitigates some of it for them if it doesn't work out. Because how many times in the NFL have we seen a guy have a really good year and then now like their best year of their career after they got paid? Of course, Packer fans, that'll never happen. It's Jordan Love. Okay. And Tony Mandridge was going to be the best lineman in NFL history.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah, no quarterback in the NFL ever had a sophomore slump. Never.
No.
Nope.
Or had a bad season. So, and Aaron Jones did a lot for him last year. Even though he only played 6-7 games, he did a lot. He saved them in week 1. He said, here, young kid, get on my back. And he opened up that Bears defense wide open for him. He did. Aaron Jones did that. I could say that the Packer fans, they want to take me out back and string me up to a tree because, oh my God, look at Love's numbers are so awesome. Yes, because of Aaron Jones.
I'll save you, Ken. I'll
Thank
untie
you.
you.
Thank you. But they're going to be interesting to watch. And then they're changing their defensive scheme. They did get some support in their defensive end, back end. But they're going to be interesting to watch the first couple of weeks to see how that new defense takes, and see if this offense takes off or starts to get stymied. And what a great test for them in week 1 against the Eagles. Whereas
the question mark for me for Packers is Christian Watson. He's up and down. So I don't know if it's going to be Reed. He had a hell of a rookie year, but like I said, Watson is up and down for me. He's a question mark.
Watson is the equivalent of Jameson Williams in Detroit in terms of. But those two are comparable in terms of they're both playing for their NFL existences this year. Both have had a ton of potential. Both have shown flashes of that potential. Neither has been anything close to consistent.
Nope.
And for both of them, it's a pay year. So for both of those guys in this division, it's a make or break, I think, situation. And because look at in this division, Laporta's injured right now, but it looks like he might be back by the season. Hawkinson's out for a bit.
Yep.
In Minnesota, the Green Bay, their tight end is kind of like their wide receiving room by committee.
Well, if everybody's healthy, Bears in that division have the best duo tight end.
We have the best talent overall in the division.
But Laporta, I'm scared of him, boy.
I am too. It was his rookie year, though. How much of it? I think the guy's gonna get his catches. He might not get as many touchdowns, but the guy's a weapon for sure, a weapon. But Hawkinson was a weapon too his rookie year, and then look what happened.
Yep.
But see, even you tell it to a Lions fan, oh well, Hawkinson, dude. When Hawkinson was a rookie, you talked him up like you thought Laporta, and then you couldn't wait a year later to get rid of the bum.
Yeah, I think he was good in Detroit.
He was.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I hope for Laporta, personally, his sake, he doesn't end up in the same situation as Hawkinson did in Detroit. But these guys all have such short memories of their own teams. And like Josh Jacobs in Green Bay, sure, he's a better north and south runner than Jones was. He doesn't catch the ball as well. He doesn't block as well.
No.
And he's got more injury issues.
Yeah. Well, I was arguing with a guy at work. He's a big Giants fan. And so we're talking about the NFC North. And I said, I still think Detroit's going to pull out at the end of the year, win by 2 games. He's like, what do you mean? Green Bay has Josh Jacobs. I stood up. I'm like, I looked around, any customers at work, big fucking deal. Big. What is that? What kind of argument? I'd say, debate me on this. Fight me, please.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, not doing it.
It was a lateral move with Aaron Jones to him. They got 2 years younger. He's a little bit better runner, but he doesn't do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And every team in the North that faced him last year stuffed them. And so the Packer fans, but we've got a better O-line.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, on the pass, you were ranked 10th overall, but on the run, you weren't ranked that high. Vegas was ahead of you. So he actually had a better line to run behind in Vegas. Oh, whoa, we have a better line. I just showed you how you did it.
Yep, that's their they always get that last word in, don't they?
Yeah. So, I mean, and someone asked me kind of similar thing, Woody. I still look at the Lions are the division champs until they're not.
Yep.
They're the favorite until they're not. They won it last year, hence they're the favorite this year. That's the way it works. If the Bears what are the Bears going to do? I said, well, there's 3 different scenarios. If Caleb sucks and has a shit rookie year, they win 5 to 7 games. If he's half of what they say he is, 9 to 10 games. If he's everything they say he is and everything goes right, 15 games in the Super Bowl. 3 different ways to look at it. It just depends which one you want to believe. Because if everything goes right for the Bears with this offense and this quarterback, if he's the truth, like they say he is.
Oh, boy.
But Woody, right? If he is what they say he is, we should be going, or maybe not Super Bowl, but deep into the playoffs, right? If he is what they say he is, with this team.
That's any quarterback.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like I said, Bears 10-7.
Yep, I'm with you.
I think they get the wild card. If they don't get the wild card and out of the playoffs, I'm thinking it's not a bust, but It's something to think about. Even though we're better than last year, 3rd easiest schedule, a quarterback's wet dream coming into on that team. There's no excuses. And our defense picked it up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And we got better on defense, I think.
If we win 10 games and miss the playoffs, I don't think that's a bust because 10 games most years would get you in the playoffs. The hard part.
What it comes down to is division games.
Well, and that's 6 of the last 8 games of the season are all in the division.
Yep.
Now, if we win 10 games but sweep the Packers and miss the playoffs, just anoint the guy king.
Well, we do that. The Packers will be in. Watch.
Yeah.
We're out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, can it be the first game? Can't they fucking tie? But I got to root for the Sheagles, which I deadly hate to do because I did learn in 2012 when Bears had that bye and Green Bay played Philly. I said, come on, Green Bay. I hate Philly so much. I need you to win. Right? And look what happened. Green Bay beat us week 2 in the playoffs.
You said you're going to root for the Sheagles.
I'm not fuck you and the Sheagles, dude. Seriously. Get the fuck. Go talk to your girlfriend, play Fortnite.
Wait, he plays Fortnite and has a girlfriend? Whoa, that's
absolutely. And I'm very proud of the guy, and I'm taking them both out to dinner on Saturday.
That's a very rare combination that he plays Fortnite and has a girlfriend. Usually it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yoli.
Hey, Yoli.
Yeah, Yoli. I'm talking about your Packer. Well, Packer. Okay. I'll stay away from that one. We're on live.
I mean, look at poor Yoli, though. She's got her whole family. Everyone she works with, they're all Bears fans.
Yep.
And then she's the lone one that's a Packer fan. And Yoli, I was going to mention the shirt thing to Mike today, but as you can see, Mike isn't here because Mike was going to make the Yoli Nation T-shirts up on our Cafe Press, and he hasn't done it yet because he's been so busy. And I told her to remind me of that day. And
well, I got a question for Yoli. Quick, we have 5 minutes yet.
Yeah,
Yoli, I want to know NFC North how it's going to end up by standings, not the number. I want to know by team, first through last.
so just give a team order. Yeah. So Yoli, he's saying just give a team order.
And so instead of all these emojis, we want to see something that means something. I'm going to wait. Oh, come on. Yoli, you're disappointing me.
Because she doesn't want to admit that the Packers are going to be in third place.
Hey, I admit it. Chicago's third place.
I think it's going to be a battle for second between the Packers and the Bears.
I think it's going to be a battle for 1, 2, and 3, and it's going to come down to like those last 8 weeks where it's all those divisional games. That it's going to be, they're like seriously. I don't think anyone wins this division, but the difference between first place and second place will probably be one game. The difference between second place and third place will probably be one game. It's going to be that way. So from first to third is a 2-game difference at best. At best.
So
maybe
Yoli, you said you're going to wait. What are you going to wait till midseason? Okay.
Oh wow! Woody's going after Yoli tonight. She is going to mobilize the army.
Yoli, I want you to come on here for a debate with me. Let's go. Bring it.
And look, though, she's given the Bears some props there, saying we have a good lineup.
Wow, she didn't mention Detroit, though, so that means Detroit. She
might be
Detroit's
out.
Going to win that division.
Yeah, Detroit might be out, according to Yoli. You heard it here first. Yoli said Detroit is out. It's Green Bay and Chicago for the division.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Greg Rice, if you're watching, we're claiming Yoli now, Putty.
Yeah.
All right.
All I know is I'm getting an inbox from Yoli. I need the link for next week now. I'm coming on. Damn it.
Go.
Yeah. You heard it though. Oh yeah, look it, and she's verifying it. Detroit's out.
Wow.
She's like, see you later, sayonara, bye. Put your brown paper back on your head in Detroit.
Wow.
It's over.
Wow.
Yoli, I'm gonna remind people of that tomorrow morning.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, the morning show. Oh, here we go. Wait. I'll come on next week. I'm home this week. Hope you feel better.
Yeah, hope you feel better. And I would have a joke about that, but it isn't a joke. But I won't say it on live. I'm not going to do it. Nope.
Woody's used that disclaimer just a few times a day. I'd say if we're on live TV, that's not regulated by the FCC,
and I usually have an opinion. I usually don't hold back, but out of respect for Yoli, I will not say anything.
Because you always have an opinion. Never. You always have an opinion. Never.
Yeah, I know.
All right, boys. Well, we got like 10, 15 seconds left. Don't forget, Ken and Ken in the morning tomorrow, every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. Sunday, we will be on 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. Saturday, we will be out covering the Bears game on Mike the Bear Fan, like we did the Hall of Fame game. That's a noon start Central, something like 1 o'clock in the East.
Yep.
It's supposedly what it is. So until then, we'll see y'all later. Be safe. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us.
Bear down.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and M.M.Aniacs. The nightly podcasts are Halas Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, the Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and